to another Monday live stream. All right, let's get this going here. I'm just going to be working on this this monster by Mitch Leeuwe. Again, we're going to try and get him finished up. We'll see what happens here. Hopefully, this I'm the only thing I'm worried about is that it's not going to take 2 hours to finish him up, but we'll noodle at it and see how it goes. Hey Neil, hey Mark, how's it going? So let me just post this to Facebook like we do. All right, shared. All right. So how is everybody doing today? Hope you're doing well. I want to get some music going. I don't usually listen to music, but today I'm gonna listen to some music. Okay, making sure you guys can't hear it. All right. Hey Matt, how you doing? Okay, so where we left off last week, we had this little chompy monster guy. And let's see. Hey Brad, how's it going? Hey Max. Let's see. So I kind of have an idea for a color scheme on this guy, and I was looking at these claws, and I feel these claws are a little bit too sharp. So I'm gonna fatten up the tips here a little bit, make them more clawdish. I don't know what that means. So what are you guys working on today? If you're a student of mine, you know that last month of February we had a little student ran challenge, and it was all monsters. So I decided to do a monster of my own here. And this is a great concept by Mitch Leeuwe. Hey Chris, how you doing? Hello everybody just joining us. Welcome, welcome. All right. It's kind of fun to start with a model that you've been working on instead of from scratch every time. Because then you know it's already kind of getting there. Yeah, Neil, some good stuff. Hey, David. All right, so I'm going to try and join all these things, like these little floopy tubies, whatever they are. And then his feet, he's looking like he's wearing shoes right now. Okay, let's kind of clean things up here. One of my freelance jobs, I don't know why this is, I went and fixed this, but in this file it's still named Baby Thanos. That was funny. Okay, so let's delete this and this and these older feet and this older head. All right, good. Hey Darius, thank you so much. I have a question. I have a Wacom Cintiq 13. What would you recommend for upgrade? Other brands or? Honestly, Darius, I don't have any experience with other brands. The only thing I've ever used in my career is Wacom. I would love to try other brands, and other people say they're great, but for me, I don't have any other experience. I know that a 13 is really small. I've used a 12, like an older 12, and it's great for storyboarding, but for sculpting, you don't get enough real estate. You don't have enough screen space to do what you need to do, so you feel really claustrophobic and cramped. So I would recommend at least a 21 or larger. You don't need to go gigantic like the 36 or whatever, that new one. Just go with what you can afford, you know. Hey, Battle Bears, how's it going? Yeah, 16 at least. I would say even bigger. I'd say at least 20, just for real estate. So I'm on a 27. That's what you're looking at right now, is a 27. And this is a few years old. Let's see. Let's name these. That's the first thing. I'm going to rename this teeth. What's this? Claws. And I'm going to be combining these things, but that's okay. Tubers. And body. Feet. "16" is just enough space to hold all the ZBrush UI, but the brush menu is too large. So also, if you guys didn't know, if you're on a smaller screen and your user interface is taking up so much space and you're even missing some buttons, like if you're using my user interface, which I give away for free over on my website, 3dcharacterworkshop.com, just a little shameless plug there. You can, if you don't have all this space here and down here, what you can do is you can go into Preference, go into, I believe it's, let's see, Interface, UI, and then it says button size right here. The default is 48, but you can crank that down to the left. I'm not going to do it right now, but you move this slider to the left, and then you save, do a store config, and then you restart ZBrush, and it will make your button smaller and give you more real estate. Hey, what's up, Ika? All right. Let's see here. Now that I have everything deleted and named, I'm going to re-save this as a new file. Okay, then let's move these guys down. Okay, these three things I want to combine together. So now that I have that saved, I can do that without any problem. Okay. And I'm going to duplicate this just in case. Okay. And I'm going to stitch these together. So I have to say, yeah, Quicks, I was just going to say, yeah, so Quicks is like, if you've been playing any games lately, you know, two of my favorite games just came out within a week of each other. Horizon Forbidden West, phenomenal game. Beautiful, great storytelling, wonderful open world, and the character designs are just I would say some of the best. It's so good, so good. And then there's then the next week, Elden Ring came out from Software. You know, it's a new From Software game like Dark Souls. And that game, oh my gosh, that's just a masterpiece in like open world puzzle game design as well. And so it's like I'm trying to figure out where I want to spend my time. I played Forbidden West for a week, and now I've been playing Elden Ring, and Elden Ring, I have a love-hate relationship with Dark Souls games, or I should say Souls games. They're difficult for me. They're difficult for a lot of people, but it just seems like they're super difficult for me, and I want to rage quit all the time. And But they're beautiful, and I love the gameplay, and I just love everything about it, except for the difficulty it just gets to me, you know, and I want to rage. And it, like super hard fights will get my heart pumping super fast, and I have heart palpitations occasionally, and I can feel it, and I'm just like, oh, this is too stressful. I need to do something else. So anyway, oh goodness. Okay, so I'm gonna stitch these together. Your first Dark Souls games. I'm sure I'm gonna die. Yeah. Yeah, I plan on dying a lot. Okay. So bad at Dark Souls games, but this one's really clicking. You know, this one's fun because of the open world. It slows down the pace of everything, so you can really crank up your skills before taking on anything that, like, in normal Souls games, they usually have a boss or some really big thing to stop you from moving on to the next area or the next thing. And with this one, that's not the case. This is more like a really big open world, and you can go fight the bosses when you're ready, which I like a lot better. It has performance issues on PC, or it had. I think they're patching it, but I played on PS5 and I haven't had any issues so far. Okay, let's look at this by itself here. It's being patched for PC, yeah. Okay, I'm trying to decide, because I really want the base mesh to be solid. So I'm gonna just try and ZRemesh it and see what I get. But if I don't get what I want, then I'm gonna have to do some edge loops. Do you use an alternative method for ZRemesh, like pressing and holding? No, I don't. I just use the I just use the default. Sorry, my nose is itching for some reason. Somebody must be talking about me. Okay. Oh, PS5. Yeah, so with the PS5, I totally lucked out on that. There was a guy that was so like anxious about getting one, he bought two. And so he had two, and they came to us, and so he was, before the whole you know, what are they called? Where they sell it at a higher price. Before that all happened online, before he knew about that, so he could get more out of it, he sold it at regular price, and I was able to pick it up. So I totally lucked out, just by sheer chance. Oh my goodness. As well as other artists streaming here, I learned a lot watching Ian sculpt the body. Oh yeah, Ian's great. He's one of my students. Yeah, scalping. Thanks, Rob. I'm like, what's that word? Stupid scalpers. Okay. It's too much. Hey, Alex. Okay, I'm just gonna smooth these areas out so I get a better ZRemesher result. Well, hopefully a better ZRemesher result. I'm gonna leave these just to see what happens here. Okay. These ankles are funny. Okay, let's see what we get. Shall we? Let's see. Let's try 5. I'm not going to keep groups this first time just to see what it gives me. Not too bad. So just so you guys know, I'm planning on I would love to 3D print this guy. I would love to actually animate him, but I'm not going to make an animation mesh of him right now. I'm just going to make a nice solid base mesh, and I actually got I I'm pretty happy with this. Looks pretty decent. That doesn't always work. Are you smoothing the ankle with Sculptris in order to maintain the form? Like, I'm actually sculpting the ankle with Sculptris just to get rid of the transition between the ankle and the foot, just to smooth it out, because ZRemesher, the flow of it likes to follow peaks or valleys, and that was a peak and a valley that I didn't want it to really attach itself to, so I smoothed it out and got rid of it. Okay, now I'll no longer be using Sculptris because I'm done with it. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. It's like, so Sculptris does not rebuild the entire mesh where Dynamesh does. So it won't necessarily get rid of your detail that you already have. Okay. So let's look at this guy. Now that we have him like this, I'm actually happy with where it decided to put the poles. Pretty good. There's a weird diamond down here, but that's okay. Yeah, Neil, I'd love to rig it and animate it. Be fun. Because I can see him like I said last week, I can see him eating like a chicken, you know? Okay, I want to open his mouth more to give him this smile more. And I'm going to apply this dynamic subdivision and add more. So he actually has real subdivision levels, because I want to add, you know, some paint and these details. That's what we're going to be doing today, is adding these details. All right. I'm going to try something with opening this mouth, though. Go to the lowest level. Hey there. Okay. I'm going to try that again. So I'm thinking about opening his mouth, and I want to just mask off a portion of it. And then this gizmo is like a temporary pivot point. You can move anywhere you want. See, it's like, but it's squishing that area. That's what I was afraid of. So let's try it one more time. Go a little lower there. That's better. Okay. Now we can go to these teeth and hide all these upper teeth. Well, actually, I want to mask the upper teeth and just expose the lower ones. This one. Okay. So now if I turn on the pizza boxes, just select this and the teeth. I should be able to just move the teeth. There we go. Rah, rah, rah. Sweet. Okay, and I do want to pull these teeth in a little more. Make sure you turn those pizza boxes off after you're done with them. Check out the DICE Awards. It was great to see Ratchet and Clank win a bunch of awards. I did see the It Takes Two, but I didn't watch them. I still need to. I want to try that game. I'd love to talk my wife into playing it with me, but doubt that would happen. All right. Hey, Roy boy. How's it going? Okay, let's see here. I just want to pull these cheeks in a little more. All right, I just don't want this to go that wide. That's better. Okay. I just want him to have that super happy smile. Makes me laugh. Okay. I'm going to save this as 3, version 3. Okay, now we can start to just put in some of the few of the details here. I don't know that I like this. Usually I do this portion not live, so today you get to see me do it live. So you use Sculptris Pro in your workflow all the time or just for certain situations? Mainly in the face and the hands when I need to, do something specific that I need more detail for. But if it's for a body that's just, appendages like legs and arms and a torso, then I don't. It's just, I kind of just use it for the face when I need to use detail. Make him kind of have a pudgy body. So those of you playing Elden Ring, what are you playing as? Great to see you creating a character from The Incredibles. I actually did for Disney Infinity. I worked on well, we called them by their names instead of Mr. and Mrs. Incredible. So I worked on Helen a bit and Dash. Let's see here. I want to rotate him forward a little bit and cock his head back. I'm just going to pose him just a little bit more. All right. All right. Hey, good. How's it going? Thanks, Neil. His head's kind of pushed back. And then I want to make his neck even smaller here. So, in pose mode, that's what this is right here, T-pose mesh. It's called T-pose master. In that mode, you don't it's not just for posing. You can like you can smooth things down, and then it will translate from your the low resolution version to the high resolution when you go back. Have you sculpted any of the X-Men? I have not. My friend Hector did, though. Hector Moran, as fan art for Disney Infinity. And he did a really nice job with him. What are the V1, V2? So if you want to group subtools, it's just visual. That's why it's a V, because it's a visual. So you can hide and show groups of subtools rather than using folders if you want. Like if you had a character with a whole long list of subtools and it was just kind of getting out of control, you can use that to hide and show groups. Make his tail a little longer. I'm using Move Elastic here. It's a little spongier of a brush. This guy. Oh, it makes me laugh. Thanks, Neil. And like I can also shrink down his ankles a little bit more to make him smaller. There we go. What character class are you using for Elden Ring? So I'm actually playing an astronomer. What is it? A magic user guy? Loving it. Loving it, loving it. Okay, so I'm gonna go back up to T-pose. There we go. Good classes for beginners, I would say the astronomer. I don't know which one, astrologer. And then, or the vagabond is really good. So the vagabond, if you like sword and board, it's a good one to kind of stay alive. And it's a strength build, and strength is in this game, in Elden Ring, they've tied is it called vitality and strength together. So strength is your carry load as well as your what weapons you can use. So it's pretty cool. Okay. Do I like that? I'm going to puff his cheeks out even more. And I love how much, so typically in Souls games there hasn't been too much magic, and what there is just okay. But in this one it really seems like they embraced the magic. And like there's these mage towers that you have to go and find these items to give you more spell slots. And I love it because the mage tower looks like a mage, there's all these books and it's just really cool. I like it. Because I'm a huge D&D nerd, and it feels very D&D to me, so I love it. Dragons and all sorts of stuff. Okay, then I want this eyeball a little more round. Super round. Okay. Yes, I'm being slow today on purpose. I'm just like being thorough and dabbling. Ooh, samurai is fun, Thomas. I love the samurai, actually. Because he's got a bow. and it's a long bow, so it shoots a long distance, and you can like the super pull, like when he pulls, it feels good. Let's see. Jerome, thanks, man. Jerome, would you sorry, my friend Jerome's messaging me. He's watching right now, but from his phone. So, would you scoop it? So, in this direction? Yeah, let's do it. Let's try it. I was thinking about, see how it just kind of comes down and it has kind of some volume back there. That's what I was trying to do from this angle. But let me drop it. Maybe it's too tall. Yeah. There we go. Thank you, Jerome. Okay. I think dropping it, losing the volume that I had, making it look less like a hamster, feels better. So Jerome, now that I have you watching, Jerome was asking me what the difference is between the move brushes, and I can show you. I'm glad you're watching. So if the regular move brush, you can kind of think of brushes as spheres, even though they're represented as planes. Oh, thanks, Jerome. Even though the brush is represented as a plane, see how as I move the brush across here, it turns, right? It's like flowing along the surface, but that's not really what's going on behind the scenes. What's happening is, let me grab, I'm just gonna grab this eyeball. Nope, sphere. Okay, let me show you. Now this is gonna represent what's actually happening, okay? The brushes look like a sphere, so that it will also not only affect the surface, but it will affect the surface out to this point and on the inside to that point. So if you have something really thin, like a cape or something like that, that has a very thin, you know, where there's two meshes that are close together, it's not only going to affect the front side, but it'll affect the back side as well. And that's why I have this button right here called Back Face Mask. And that just means that you're not going to affect the back side, even though that sphere is going through it. Does that make sense? It's kind of hard to explain, but basically what I'm saying is don't think of these brushes as planes or discs. Think of them as spheres, and then it'll make sense in your head a lot more why certain things are happening and other things are not. Okay, so with that in mind, this move brush, if I select this surface and I move it around, oops, move it around, move brush. This is the regular move brush. It's just going to move the surface in the amount that the fall off of the brush is showing, right? And you can turn down this Z intensity and it becomes more like a nudge brush than a move brush. See how it just moves a little bit, even though I'm moving a lot. Whoops. So that's what's happening there. And if you turn on this AccuCurve, this is going to give you a different fall off. Okay, so if I click on this AccuCurve and pull on it, you can see it's going to make a different shape. So if I turn it off and I pull it out, it's going to make a rounded fall off like this. Okay, so that's what move and that's what AccuCurve does. Now, if I grab Move Elastic and do the same motion, you can see it just has a much bigger fall off and it's spongier. And once you reach a certain point, it just feels different. And the only time I really use Move Elastic is on appendages like the tail. It's so I can kind of move that around with a spongier way. It's the only thing, and the fall off is very large. It's bigger than the brush. So the brush doesn't really represent what's happening, because you can see all the way down here on his rump, when I move it, it's still moving down there because of that fall off is just huge, okay? And then I'm gonna skip over this Move Infinite for a second and talk about Snake Hook. So Snake Hook is kind of like a move brush with AccuCurve turned on already, but it's kind of, I don't know what let's see. So you can kind of see it just continues to stretch it out. It kind of moves like taffy does. But if you do turn on AccuCurve, it'll get even sharper, like this. So you can do really sharp points and things with that Snake Hook brush. And Ashley A Cubed, she loves this brush and loves AccuCurve. It's a lot of fun. And that's how I made these, the tips of this tail, the tips of the claws here is with AccuCurve. Okay, so now let's talk about Move Infinite. You can think of Move Infinite as a cylinder rather than a sphere. So if I, here, let's make a cylinder. I gotta reset this. Okay, I gotta pick an object that doesn't have subdivision levels. Okay. So let's think of it like a sphere, and it's gonna shoot all the way through the model to the other side when I use Move Infinite. Okay, so Move Infinite, it's like, visualize it like this. Okay, it's gonna move both sides of the model no matter what camera angle you're at, okay? And it's not gonna move it symmetrically over here. It will, so if I have the camera turned like this, it's gonna shoot all the way through the model from the view of the camera to the other side. So right now, it would, let me hide this for a second. It would move here. So let me paint a mask on here, because it works just like this. See this mask that I just made? And it will affect back here. So it will do it symmetrically, but it will also shoot all the way through the model from the camera's point of view, okay? So you kind of have to be careful. I only use the Move Infinite really with when I have the model snapped directly to the side like this, just snap it perfectly. So now when I use Move Infinite on this body, and I pull this like this, you see how it goes here. Let me show you the difference. So I'm gonna grab Move and pull this out from here. Okay, and then I'll grab Move Infinite and pull this out from here. Here, let me go a little lower. Right there. Okay, so this the move only affects where I touched right here. And the Move Infinite affected all the way across. Okay, that's the difference. Other than that, they're the same brush. It's just how far it affects it. So does that make sense? I only use Move Infinite in very specific instances where I want to make sure I'm not leaving divots in the middle of the character as I move. Yeah. Okay. Let's go delete this cylinder here. Okay. Yeah, no worries. Pablo, that doesn't make any sense to you? I don't know how to explain it more. What part doesn't make any sense? Okay, he's got too big of a rump, I'm noticing. Oh, my intensity is too low now. Yeah, that feels much better because I'm looking for that flow to go down here. I kind of want him back, standing like an ostrich stands on its feet, kind of like whoop. Awesome, Jerome. Thanks, man. Glad to help. Sometimes it's hard to explain how something works without just showing you, you know? Hey, Charlie, thanks. Hey, Jace. Thanks, man. And that's also the, you know, now that we're on the subject of it going all the way through, that is the difference between masking, masking like on the surface versus masking all the way through. So if you do this mask pen right here, and then I hold down Control and I paint on the surface, you'll notice it just paints on the surface, a mask, okay? But if you use this mask lasso and I draw a circle on here, it's going to shoot all the way through the model on both sides. See that? Back and front. That's kind of how Move Infinite works, and that's how Mask Lasso works. It goes all the way through. So just be cautious of that. Would your courses help a new ZBrush user with building game models? Absolutely. Yep. That's exactly what it's intended for. To do 3D printed models and game models both. I cover both. Okay. So let's start putting some details on this guy. I kind of wish his toes were shaped just a little bit differently, but I think they're okay. Let's see if I can. You'll notice I keep going up and down in subdivision levels. When I'm making large movements, I like to use the lowest subdivision level, just because it's easier to manipulate. But I just wanted the curve of these toes to be further back towards his foot. Okay, so let's start giving this guy some color. I have some color ideas in mind. I was thinking about like a really strong orange with a yellow belly. Yellow belly. And either green or blue or indigo dots. I want to try some stuff here. We'll see. Oh, I noticed. So you want to look at your model from all angles. See how as I turn it, it's got this hip all of a sudden. This is the stuff that I go through off camera. Don't really show too much. It's probably the stuff that needs to be shared most. This is the art stuff. I usually talk about the tech stuff. Okay. I just want to give that a little shadow. Okay. Let's try it with an orange. Like a red orange. This is going to be bright. Yeah, Neil, you're right. I don't dabble too much on the art side here. Kind of want them brighter. something like that. Okay, now let's do be brighter than that. This tongue, a little more red, same value. Yeah, there we go. Kind of like the brighter eye. I'm gonna try because I might make his toes or his toenails the same color as the dots on his back. Yeah, Jace, things are going great, thanks. Hope things are good with you. Okay, let's try like an indigo. Maybe. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe. It's always safe to do like a darker version of the same orange or the same base color. So if I'm gonna save this color because I do like it, but if I grab this orange color again and you essentially just take it a darker value, see that's typically looks okay as well. Maybe a little more saturated. Yeah. But it's just not as fun, you know? Like, I think that would look okay. Yeah, draft spots, totally. Let's see, this looks more alien and monstery and weird. It's like the opposite of the color wheel, essentially. You're going to go for. And I could totally make his nails that color. Pretty funny. Green. Okay, I'll leave the toes that color, and then we can try a green. Let's see, maybe like a yellow green. Oops. Makes my eyes go nuts. Yeah, green's pretty good too. Maybe a little darker. No, gotta have it bright. That's better. Be kind of fun to make his eye that color with a yellow. Monster Rancher? Did I play Monster Rancher? I might have. Okay, let's see. So, yeah, it's kind of fun. And then let's go yellow. And then grab the airbrush. Just kind of hit the center of this thing. Yeah, I like that. Okay. And then, I don't know, is this, yeah, I can apply that dynamic. Okay, I'm just dividing it up to about 1 million or so, just so I can start to color in this. Yeah, blue might work too. Be a little too long there. When I'm looking more forward. Do a nice. Nice, funny. Okay, and then I can put a material on here that makes it look like it's an eye, you know. But I don't think I have it loaded up here. I'll have to go get it. Do I? No, I don't. Okay. Let's go load it. He's so happy. Okay, there we go. Look at that crazy eye. So this is a ZBrush eye reflect. And yes, it fills in anything that doesn't have material. It puts that material on the object, but it's not actually, it's just a temporary view of it. It's not actually on there. How you have to apply it is I usually use my paintbrush and I switch from RGB to material. So this is the material channel. So we're no longer painting with color, we're painting with material. It's kind of like a glossy coat over the top of it, okay? So now, just gonna make sure the eye is selected, and then I'm gonna hit Fill Object. Now you gotta remember it's filling it with the material and not the paint. So it's, again, it's like a shell over the top of whatever it is. Now if I go back to Skin Shade 4, for example, it's gonna stay on that eye, and then everything else is gonna get the skin shade. So now you got this crazy, bright, shiny eye that has a little highlight when you move him around. It's kind of fun. Okay, and you can also do, if you don't have that material, you can go get it. Neil posted a link on Twitch, but you can also use a material in here called toy plastic that works pretty well for eyes right here. And that just has, it's shiny with one highlight. Okay. Now I want to kind of pull that yellow in and paint his belly. And it's funny that it goes up and all the way up into his mouth here. But I want to give myself kind of a border line to follow. So what I'm going to do is make a layer. I'm going to save a morph target first. Let's see, where's my morph targets? Store morph target. And morph targets will just help with adding and erasing from layers. This is why I do that. I hardly ever use layers. I only use them in the very, very final stages after I've subdivided a few times. Yeah, thanks, Neil, I will. Okay. Yeah, let's do a save a version. Okay. So layers can hold sculpting and color if you want them to. And I like to use this detail brush. We'll try it out here. Okay. Let's crank up the depth a little bit. And also you can choose to use, well, this new carve brush that I added, and I need to add to my, that's too crazy. It changes his whole look. And then there's this chisel brush. The chisel brush works with morph targets quite well. But when you first put it down, it's too sharp. Yeah, it looks too mechanical. So after you lay it down, you're going to want to go in and smooth it a lot. Let's crank this smoothing up so it would look more organic, something like this. Okay, but I think I'm going to do the detail brush. I just want just a little edge change, and I might put the paint on first, and then draw the detail line around that paint. Let's do that. And you want to make sure that with this paintbrush, anytime you apply a material, you want to switch back to RGB. Otherwise, you're going to paint and nothing's going to happen because you're actually painting the material on there. Just make sure you switch. Okay, grab this green yellow. A little more yellow. It's kind of fun. It's kind of a green yellow to match his eyes. See what that looks like. Oh, this guy. Looks like he's eaten something toxic. Yeah. You can always come back and edit these lines. See how this is all kind of messed up. And if you can't get your lines as smooth, you can always turn on lazy mouse just by hitting L. And it will kind of help with the smoothness of your brush line. I'm just going to hide these for a minute. Hey, Wada. Nope, this is ZBrush. Oops. You are watching the official ZBrush YouTube live channel. I'm trying to decide if I like that yellow-green. I think I do. All right, I want to do the inside of his mouth, kind of a dark orange too. This reminds me of my pinstriping days. I used to pinstripe vehicles, helmets and stuff. It's for fun. Let's see if this is dark enough. Yeah, it's probably dark enough. Just want to run this dark where the teeth are, just to give that throat. Stupid joke. Well, a lot of people come on and just like, yeah, they're not joking, so I have to answer in a not so joking manner. It's funny too because on for an April Fool's joke one time, I asked him if I could just sculpt in a different program for the entire session. They're like, These colors are kind of crazy. Trying to decide if I like them. I don't know if I do. Especially that yellow. That yellow is just kind of throwing me off a little bit, that green yellow. I like the eye color and I like a little bit of the purple, but this yellow, I think I'm going to take it to maybe a lighter orange or something. Let's try it. Yeah, it's totally Lilo Stitch vibes. You actually look up Stitch. Yeah, so he's like a blue and then a light. Yeah, so I can't show Stitch on the stream or it'll like stop the live stream because Disney. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so I'm gonna actually try a different orange for this. I think it'll work out better. Okay, so let's try looks like skin color. Let's just do it over here. That might work. Then it's more subtle. It's not so, hey, look at me. You know, and it won't look like he's been eating something corrosive. Okay, so there is this thing called this masking that's called mask. What is it called? Let's go into the masking. Where are you masking? There we go. Mask by intensity. And I don't think it'll work because I have 3 colors. It works best when I only have 2 colors. Mask by feature. No. Normals. By color. By PolyPaint. Oh, hey, here we go. There we go. Oh, that's nice. I have not used this feature. Okay, sweet. So if you use this feature, you can click on this on a color swatch and click and drag it over to the color that you want. Hey Tattoon, I'm not going to be unwrapping this guy because there's no need really, because I'm going to be 3D printing him. Maybe if I was going to animate him, I would, but usually I do my unwrapping in a different program. But it's essentially just using the UV Master plugin. Okay, so anyway, that makes it easy. Let's see, tolerance. I know you can looks like it masked outside of the lines a little bit. Let's try it again. There we go. Right there. Okay. Then I can invert that and then just paint this color. I could just fill it. There we go. Look at that. That's better. That's better. That's what I like. All right. Yeah, that feels more animalish. I just got started with 3D and ZBrush just to justify buying a 6,000 resin printer to swap out my FMD. So are you wanting to buy a 6,000? I don't know that you need one, but it depends on how big you're gonna go with it, right? I think I might go. Let's see. Oh, 6K resolution, not $6,000. Okay, yes, 6K resolution. Yeah. Those are fun to use. But before you do, just make sure that you get good in ZBrush before you make that investment, you know? And just make sure that it's going to pay for itself if that's what you're planning on doing. Okay, so I just want to paint this a little bit more. I want to actually go back up the back of the tail and not stop it right there. I wasn't thinking earlier. And then use the rough brush. Okay, what? Why don't they do what they say? Sorry. Sometimes I sing when I sculpt. Kind of want to go a little wider here. Kind of like a deer butt. Yeah, they're working on higher and higher resolution printers. I think an 8K is being threatened. But that just means you just want a bigger build plate for more resolution, right? I have two resin printers behind me. I have a Form 2 and a Form 3. I also haven't any cubic, but I don't use it. I just haven't. I just got it on a really good deal. It was super cheap, so I picked it up. But I didn't. I just haven't used it. I've used my Form 2 the most. I still need to use my Form 3. It's just my Form 2 has the resin loaded, so I keep using that one. Hey, what's up, Hopper? Oh, thanks so much. Okay, I'm gonna take these teeth. I want to add some shadow to them. I'm going to use this orange. That's probably too much. Do you worry about ventilation? Yes, you should. And it depends on the printer and it depends on the resin. I'm just, I'm faking some ambient occlusion here. If you're wondering what the heck I'm doing. I like to paint it just so I can control it. Yeah, wear gloves. I have some reusable ones that I use that are thicker rubber because those disposable ones tend to rip and then the resin gets on you. No, they don't print in color yet. Not typically. The ones that do are crazy expensive. But not typically. The ones that do print in color, they have they have a like a sugar. It feels like like it's made of sugar, and then they inkjet it. How am I doing? I'm doing well, thanks. Is it possible to print it hollow? Yes, but you need to hollow it out, either with your slicing software or in ZBrush or someplace like that. Okay. So let me work on this purple again. I'm gonna save it. You have chocolate 3D print. There's people printing in all sorts of stuff. They're printing houses with concrete. Pretty crazy stuff. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I think that I like to kind of sit with my colors a little bit, and that purple's a little too heavy for me. So I want to tone it down. Hey James, how's it going? Hey Tom. No worries, at least you made it. That's what matters most. See, that even feels better, just regular claws. Is there a reason to do this in ZBrush and not another 3D software? Yeah, because ZBrush is the best digital sculpting application out there right now, in my opinion. So it's when you're doing digital sculpting, it's just smart to use the best tools, and you're watching the official ZBrush YouTube channel. So that's why, yeah. Okay, let's see. What am I doing here? Yeah, there's a lot of companies that will print, so you don't have to buy the printer yourself. Let me see here. Kind of like that too. It's not so in your face. Look at my toenails. Okay, let's do a little bit of just a little bit of highlight on these guys. Yeah, Shapeways is one of them. Okay, now let's look at the spots. Yeah, I have a whole bunch of 3D prints behind me just sitting there waiting to be painted. I have the paints. I have my airbrush set up. I just need to find the time to do it. Oh, goodness. What do you guys vote for? Regular bone colored nails, or like something like this? What materials on the eyes? They look extra shiny. It's called ZBro Eye Reflect. So it's ZBro is a ZBrush user that makes a whole bunch of awesome materials. Tom's like, purple, bone. I don't have a pole. Okay. Let's grab. Hey Tim, thanks. Neon orange. So, sorry for spoilers, but this in Elden Ring, I just have to say one thing that just blew. It's so funny. There's these birds with these knives on their talons, and it just made me laugh. I'm like, what? Oh man. Yeah, James. I want to try one thing. I want to try like a light blue. They make some printers that paint all the mesh. I don't know. Yeah, someday I'm sure. I kind of like that. I didn't make the eye material. It's ZBrush Eye Reflect. I'm just trying to get a good separation between these colors. Yeah, they do have 3D printers that will print in color, just not resin ones, because the resin has to cure. So you can't really do it. You can't really color the resin at the same time. But the others, there's like a powder-based resin, or it's not resin. It's like a powder-based 3D printer, and you can inkjet that as it's printing. And that is a complicated airbrush system. Let's see. Sorry, it's taking me a while. I'm just trying to find that color. I like that. What do you guys think? Think blue, purple, or dark orange? Put this in perspective. Okay, I need to run and hit the restroom really fast. I'll be right back. 1 sec. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, here's something that I printed on my printer. Let's see here. No, come on, where are you? There you go. Okay, so can you guys see this? Well, all this stuff back here is printed, but see this key right here? This is Samus from Metroid that Dynamo 3D made. I love printing his stuff out, and I want to eventually paint it all, but this is the torso and some legs and the butt. If I turn it around, yeah, it's just really nice. This was printed out with like this, it almost feels like marble or porcelainish. It feels like porcelain. It's weird, but I like it a lot. I really, really do. It just depends. It depends on like the size of the print, and it depends on if it's laser based or photo based. Photo based are faster because it's just a flash and it gets the whole layer at once. Boom. And a laser takes longer, but it's a little more precise. Why do I have a Dutch name? It's actually not Dutch. It's Swedish. So Olsen is Dutch and Olson is Swedish. because my ancestors are from Sweden. Sweden. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, this? Oh, Leeuwe, this is not, this is the person who drew the concept. Mitch Leeuwe. And yeah, that too. But my last name is Olson, O-L-S-O-N. How to select color from Spotlight. So you hit Z or Z to pull up this ring right here. And as long as that ring is up, then you hit C on your keyboard, as in cat, and then you can select colors from the image. Okay. So I don't want to do this symmetrically. I want to do this asymmetrically. I do like this blue though. I think I'm going to go with it. Just kind of make it up. Sorry, this is going to take a while. Just got to be patient and I guess I'm still painting symmetrically, aren't I? Oh well. Would I recommend a pen or a mouse? I think I get this question once every single time I stream, and that's totally fine. But I recommend a pen 100%. And the reason why is because when you're trying to sculpt on the surface, you need pressure sensitivity. So you can do thin to thick to thin again strokes. You can't do that with a mouse because a mouse is a click, and it's either a 0 or it's 100. There's no in between. So if you want to get, fall off like that, then you absolutely need to have a pen. That's too many. Too many. Okay, I'm gonna start over. And do it non-symmetrically and make them bigger. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. I actually could. It's not a bad idea. I could also, what might be fun before I put these on, but it makes it much more difficult, but you could put a gradation on here. And what you can do, so I have layers turned on, now that I'm thinking about it. Where's my layers? Layers. So I'm still in record mode on layers. Let me save this, because man, layers are finicky. Basically, I can turn this recording off and hide. See how it's PolyPaint, and I can hide it. On, off. So I can turn off the layer and I can still paint on the base. And what I can do is I can do a gradient on these things. So if I wanted to say go from orange to, or from yellow to orange, I could do that. Okay. Yeah, I just actually learned the mask by color, and because that wasn't a thing for the longest time. I'm like, whoa, I forgot about this. Okay, so see, I have this yellow color. Grab my airbrush and just kind of, if I want to do like this, or if I want to go maybe darker, so they get darker as they go out, like so. That'd be kind of fun, and then it would make the blue pop more, or whatever color. It looks like I lost my blue color. Dang it. Oh well. There's probably mice with pressure sensitivity. I've never heard of that. I also wonder if you could use the scroll wheel to yeah, I just get a pen, man. You can find super duper cheap tablets. Like for under $100 you can find them. So that's the same cost as a mouse. I would just you don't want to do a mouse. I'm just saying that. Yeah, I agree with you, Tom. Also, I could go slightly that greenish yellow. There we go. That's cool. His tail. Sorry, I'm taking too long yapping today. Can you start in an iPad? The ZBrush is not on iPad. There are other sculpting applications that you can get that you can play with on there. So you can, but yeah. Okay. This is kind of cool. I'm liking this. Why sometimes when I rotate or move a gizmo, it looks like it's got elastic properties? Because it's actually a new feature, and you just need to adjust the fall off. So, or sorry, the focal shift right here. So, see if I'm rotating this, it looks normal. But if you change this focal shift to say 0, and you go to rotate it, it's going to be, see how it's kind of stretching and spongy like that? And then if you change it all the way up here, sorry, let's go about right here. Yeah, see how it does that? So you just want to make sure that your focal shift is all the way to -100, and then it won't happen. Oh, you used to play Counter-Strike with a controller? That's like sculpting with a mouse. Sorry. Okay. And I can do a new layer with just the blue dots on it if I want to. Texture, you used ZBrush or another, this is all ZBrush. Okay. Okay. Turning off symmetry. Okay. Kind of need to redo my whole battle station arrangement. I always use ZBrush for the texture. You beat Fallout 2 with a mouse when I left hand got busted. Ugh. It's still doable. Do you 3D print any of your creations? Yeah, so back here on my shelf, these are like, what did my camera do? Oh my gosh, hold on. It got bumped. I think. Is that better? No, it's just my head sticking in the frame just like this. Hold on. All right, I gotta frame it better next time. I don't know what happened there. Is just an illustration for the sake of the stream? Yes. Resin, yeah. I don't own an FDM printer. Spore. Yeah, kind of Spore. Oh, that game. All right, let's get him spun back the normal way here. What makes you decide whether to texture in ZBrush, Substance, or Mari? If I can keep it in ZBrush, I will. If it's just PolyPaint with stylized characters, it's usually just either gradients or solid colors. And if I can do that, I'll just do it in ZBrush. When I decide to take it somewhere else, I will, I will decide based on if the textures need to be more complex or more detailed, like cloth or, just different things. Then or like if I need to put rust or something, usually man-made objects, or if I need to do like skin, like pores and all that kind of stuff. But if it's something like this, it's so much easier just to polypaint it. Vertex coloring. Thanks, Ranboo. Also, just for my students in here, so I'm doing a well, I should say a student ran monster challenge in my Discord channel so I teach a course online called the 3D Character Workshop. So if you want to learn how to do this, you can check that out over at 3dcharacterworkshop.com. And I have a forum and a Discord channel, both for the course, and that's the Discord and forum are very, very active. So, and some of the students are here. I thank you for making those so active. Best ever. And we're going to be reviewing the challenge monsters tomorrow. So if you guys didn't know, it's coming tomorrow. And yes, I give away my user interface and my ZBrush brushes for free. Also, you can go check that out as well. Sure, Tatoon. I want to kind of show you. Guys looking fun. All right. So if you guys want a preview of it, of some of the stuff some students are doing over there. My forum looks like this. Here, let me turn off chat for just a second so you can see it. And I'm sitting in front of it. Hi. But yeah, you can see some of the student work in there. Just super top-notch stuff. Really, really cool. And like, see, these are some of the monsters that people are submitting for the challenge. Really sweet. So if you're interested, yeah, awesome. I gotta point this one out. This one's super great. Done by Young Googie. Yeah, doing these. I don't want to get pinged for a Disney thing, but yeah, super cool. The Discord student, yeah, is only for students. Yep, of the 3D character workshop. So if you're interested in joining us, check it out. Also, will the Monster Challenge review be recorded? Yes, I recorded them all and put them up. What was I gonna say? Oh, and super cool. If you guys didn't see that, Rob posted just a little hint of something coming. Of a cat guy, so that's going to be announced pretty soon, so watch out for that as well. Would the best topology for any model, if it were possible, be even quads? Yes. Or is it best to stay low poly as possible regardless of the size and shapes? Yeah, so I will increase the square density in the facial areas, in the hands, and then anywhere that needs details like that. Did I make those characters? No, those are all my students. So again, I teach a 3D character workshop. It's an online workshop where my students post in that forum and post their work in that forum. And there's also a Discord channel. It's a private Discord channel, private student forum. So I was just showing you a behind the scenes of some of the student work. I don't have time to do all that. But if you want, you can see my work on my ArtStation. It's just Shane Olson on ArtStation. Cat guy? More like think thunder. Okay. So let's finish these up. Sidetrack there. Oh, 3D Cole? Yes, I did. Thank you very, very much. Man, I really wish I could do more of those. That was such a fun thing. I'm interested in your 3D character online workshop. Awesome. Do we need to have any sculpting skills and good at drawing? I would recommend having some art skills, yes, because the technology is easy to learn, the art stuff is more difficult to learn. It's not impossible, but it's just, it'll take you a little longer time. And if you need to learn both, that will take you even longer time. So, yeah, that's my recommendation, is to have a bit of art skill. Drawing skill, not necessarily. I mean, it helps, but mainly sculpting and being able to see forms in 3D space. Okay, so turn this one off, turn the recording on this one on. You look like one of an old G of Disney animators for some. I hope I can take that as a compliment. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Steady hand. Now this is very difficult to do with a tablet. Much easier on a Cintiq. And I should be in symmetry. Okay, try it again. Thanks, James. Yeah, there's still a lot of art instruction in the course. But it's easier if you do already have art skills. I'll just say that. I don't know that I like that. Yeah, I'm going to undo that. Okay, so I'm going to do one more layer here. I'm going to color this, rename this. Chest color. Blue spots. So what's cool about this is now I can change the color of these blue spots if I want to. And I can turn them on and off. See, they're on a layer. I can turn the chest color on and off. It's also the interior of the mouth color as well. But I wanted to add one more layer. Raphael, thanks. Geez, Tom, thanks for the shining, glowing testimonial recommendation. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Okay, let me do this one more time. But this time I'm doing it on a solo layer, because then I can control it, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, and then I'll finish up the tail back here. Okay, so now we have this this detail line, but say it's just too much, right? It's too deep. So you'll see that these have sliders on them. So I can roll the slider down and reduce the amount that's cutting in, and that feels much better. So then it's not causing these weird shadows. It's just a little line. So if I were to send this to a manufacturer that's going to make these toys later, I just want some sort of a line to indicate where to stop the color. And this is a good little channel to give them, to guide them. Or even guide me if I 3D print this and I want to know where the paint goes. It's a good little little groove to do that with. So let's rename that line detail. And I'm going to put some across here too. So you just got to make sure that it's, I'm going to crank this back up because I like to record at 100% and then pull it back down. It's too late here, you got to sleep. All right, thanks for hanging out. Are the teeth separate? Yeah. When you get close to the center, you kind of have to, it's tricky. You don't want to overlap your lines, otherwise you'll get a double indent. So have to be careful. There you go. Maybe one more. Camera angle is not giving me what I want. Let's hide these feet. Ooh. Yeah, sometimes when you hide stuff with layers, that's what happens. So that's why I'm not the most giant fan of layers. Okay, so see how this one's a little too close to this one? I like these three, but this one's a little close. I want to either get rid of it completely or move it up a little bit. So what I can do is get the morph brush. This is why I did a morph target. And you can paint, or you can erase it, essentially, with the morph brush. Go back to detail. That's a little deep. Because I can control the layer, you know, the layer slider, but it also needs to be relative. It's so hard to get the center to not look all messed up, like pinched or pushed. Turn this down maybe. There we go. That's better. Okay. Happy with that. So now what I can do is do the same. It's on the same layer as the other stuff, so I can reduce. Not that much. Sometimes these sliders will go super slow and sometimes not. There we go. Do I work for Pixonic? I don't know what that is. But no, I don't. Okay, now with all of these out of record mode, I'm just going to save it. And I'm just going to paint in a little more ambient occlusion. I don't know what Pixonic is. Sorry. Oh, I'm going to hide these. Oh, Pixologic? No, I'm a volunteer here. Probably put the same lighter orange on the bottoms of those feet. maybe. Just to keep the same shape language. That's a short month, geez. Oh, I don't want to paint it down here because this is light. Oh, be nice. For a lot of people here, English is their second language. Which is super impressive. Okay, let's turn these back on. Whoops. Tink, tink. Yeah, 2 languages is 1 more language than I can speak. I dabble in Spanish and that's about it. All right, I'm going to put some more lines up the tail. Candy corn. You think of a head could be repurposed as a, yeah, Dune. Yeah, this is not safe for work part. Hide your eyes. Putting lines on the butt. Butt lines. At least it's not a single vertical line. Fun. Okay. 0.3 maybe? Sure. No, that didn't take. Why not? You can also type a number in there too. Thanks, Jamie. Thanks, Dev. So what's really cool about this now is if you export it as an FBX or an OBJ, or use some sort of a Go B, Go Z exporter, you can bring this into a different application like Keyshot, and that PolyPaint information will come across. So just make sure, like with Keyshot and using the Keyshot bridge, you can just push it right over, and then it will just bring the PolyPaint over. With some other programs, it's called vertex color. That just means it's coloring the little dots. That's what PolyPaint is. And if it doesn't show up in your program, then you need to somehow hook it up to display vertex colors, and then you'll be able to see it. Like in, if you're using Substance Painter or something like that, and you're wanting to use the colors in there for a base color, you want to load it into your vertex coloring slot or whatever. Now these toenails, let me see. I just want to see what I can do with this, these spots for a second. Just saving it again. Thanks, Fred. The yellow and blue part on top. Maybe you should do the same for his back and tails. Yeah, I was thinking about, I need to continue these blue spots. That's what I was just about to do. Do you have to do anything with the layers to prep export? Oh, that's a good idea, Mark. Yeah, you actually have to bake the layers in if you want to send it to somewhere else. Yeah. Yeah, James, if you do use that, there's a plugin called GoB. If you use that, it'll already be hooked up to the nodes if you have the latest version of it, and it works great. Okay. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Oops, what am I doing? I need the paintbrush. I need my color. There we go. That blue color kind of, it's pretty loud against that orange, isn't it? Interesting. Sorry, I keep spinning all around because that's just kind of how I look at my models. Let's see, maybe. Hooray. Have you done game assets? Yes. I worked in games for 23 years. If you look at my my ArtStation, I did a skin for Overwatch. I did Zenyatta baseball skin for Overwatch. But I've worked on games like Warhawk. Trying to think of some of the popular ones. And I'm going, Neil, I'm not. I was thinking about yeah, I need to fix this. Now that I've put this color on there, I need to go back in and adjust the flow of this. See how it's kind of, this is straight and this is, anyway. So I want to try one more thing. No, it's too late. Okay. Can you share? Neil just did. I don't know if Neil, can you put my ArtStation on YouTube? I don't know if you can put links over there. Anyway, it's just Shane Olson, Olson, at ArtStation. If you go over there and just search for my name, you can see it. But this is going to wrap up this little guy. So now looking at it, I kind of wish I might take and squeeze the back of his mouth inwards a little bit more. So let's see, I gotta turn off my layer recording here. This might mess it up. Better save it. Restream bot sends it to YouTube. Okay, cool. All right, so I want to squeeze the mouth sides in, but I think I'll mess up my layers if I do. See if it does. Yeah. Okay, so if I turn these off, there we go. That's what I wanted. So I just to get that roundness back in. Yeah. Okay, makes me laugh. Then I'll have to adjust the teeth to fit, to match. Okay. Yep, see, it messed up my layers. Turn them back on. I bet they're messed up. No, they're good. Okay, sweet. What's my opinion? Well, I can't really say my opinion here because you're watching the official ZBrush channel. So I like to keep the conversation on ZBrush. Okay. Yeah, I got some, see the layer gave me some weird artifacting. See this dark orange down in here? That's from, yeah, it messed up the poly paint like through here. I don't know why. And some weird artifacting around these dots, see that? Yeah, layers, layers. I love and hate. But anyway, I'll have to go back and I'll have to go back and mess with them. Maybe do that adjustment on a layer. It's fine if you keep building up, but if you go backwards and try and do it underneath the layers, that's when it gets messed up. But anyway, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me for another Monday Sculpt. I really appreciate it. And as always, I give away my user interface and my brushes for free over at 3dcharacterworkshop.com. You can go check it out over there. And I teach an online course called the 3D Character Workshop. You can check that out. And I also am working on an acceleration program where you just get more feedback as a student. So if you're interested in learning more about that, you can send an email to support@3dcharacterworkshop.com and let me know. So anyway, thank you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Happy sculpting, and we will catch you next Monday. All right. Take care, everybody. Cheers.